We are back. Season 4 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast. I'm Brett. Along with me is 2 other hosts and a producer. For those of you who are new to the podcast, we like to showcase breweries, their beers, and conclude every episode with a thematic-ish conversation. If you're a casual listener or a seasoned vet, you know what to expect. Producers continue to change throughout episodes, but the same old connoisseurs will continue to provide top-tier content every single episode. Please feel free to listen to all of our previous episodes and producer specials to get an insight into all of the breweries and beers we've mostly enjoyed. And whether you're new or returning, we are pleased to be your favorite craft beer podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Now, for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Brett.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tyler. And along with us today is producer Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
What is up?
We got a good old cup of Joe today, don't we?
Well, we'll find out.
I guess so.
Maybe 2 cups.
Hey, and Chris is back again.
Yeah. I am back.
Are we going to
Look
do
at
that
that.
every time he makes an appearance? Is
Pretty
that
much.
Is that where we're going to be at now?
Like we can tell this one is like a Christmas one.
A
'Cause
Chris.
is here. A Chris.
Yeah, I thought you were trying to kick me off with a guest host last main episode. But
Wasn't that fun?
yeah, it was nice.
I was waiting for you to be like, no, it wasn't. don't ever do it again.
Well, I mean, well, in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Fogorig Brewery, which is based about 10 minutes outside of Campbellford, Ontario, in the municipality of Trent Hills.
Excellent. And we're going to be trying 2 of their beers. Both of them are based on their Scottish Ale, the Highland Ground. However, with 2 different varieties,
Or blenditures, if you will.
if you will.
Yes. I heard that's a word.
yeah.
It's because you made it up. That's
Correct, yes.
That's how you've heard of it. Now, they've been barreled aged.
Oh, nice.
And this might be a little bit of a giveaway in the title of today's episode, but one is naughty and one is nice.
Ooh.
Nice. And to finish up the episode, we're going to be discussing our Christmas time traditions. All right, so Fogorig is located at 2445 County Road 8, which acts as kind of a midway point between the towns of Campbellford and Stirling. It is located on a farmstead and takes its name from a stone grist mill built on the property in 1834 by Captain Thomas Allen, who named it after Fogo, the Scottish village where he was born, and Rig from the Scottish name for ridge.
Cool.
You're so knowledgeable.
Makes sense why we're doing a Scottish ale today now, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that does make
There
sense.
you go. I'm
Yeah.
glad you pulled it together.
Yes. Thank God.
So the brewery is founded and owned by Derek Roberts and his parents, as well as Heather Anderson, who just so happened to live in the stone house on the property. So that old stone house from Captain Thomas. Derek's behind the beers along with Matthew Basler, who has honed his craft at many different breweries in Ontario.
Now, you said Captain Thomas, but really, I guess it's Captain Allen, right?
Oh,
I mean,
true.
would you go?
Yeah.
But that's the problem with having 2 first names.
It is.
Like,
They
I mean-
didn't think about that in the 1800s.
They
they
really
did not.
should have.
And trust me, I know a guy who's actually named that now.
Thomas Allen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
true.
thought Captain Thomas.
Well, he's not a captain.
No, Captain Thomas.
But yeah.
I mean, depending on the way home, I might meet one if he pulls me over.
Where would you find a captain?
You never know.
You think there's a police captain that's just out there?
Could be.
Maybe the sheriff from 1834, perhaps, just wheels up to you on his 2 horses. And,
Yeah. That'd be quite fun, actually.
yeah, I guess so.
Put that on a TikTok. So 1834-ish.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna move on. All right, so you're making your way to the brewery.
Yep.
There's a massive woods off to the left hand side. Beautiful seating, beautiful setting, all the way in, all the way through. Now, during the summertime, they actually have an outdoor patio, which provides both sun and shade spots, which is nice.
That
and
is
there's
nice.
a drive shed that can fit up to 100 different people in there, not 100 of the same people.
Accurate.
All right. So, yeah, I guess aesthetically it's pleasing, which before we get any further, I think we should say, have we been there? Because
It sounds like you have.
I have not.
Oh, you have not.
Producer Joe has, and that's where we got some of this information. And maybe you should have wrote the script a little bit better because she was tough. That last
Missed that cup of Joe beforehand. You should have had the coffee.
I tell you.
Right?
I tell you. Now,
As Brett would say, English. You know, not easy.
It ain't.
have either of you been?
I have not been.
I also have not been.
All right. Well, glad we got that settled.
But since Joe's been there,
Yeah.
We should just get his voice on here and should just talk about the whole thing, shouldn't we?
Well, we got Joe's input here, which is good.
yeah, he did one better and wrote it down, so we don't have to hear his voice.
Fair enough.
So he said he went to this brewery before a wedding in August. So a little pre-drink for Joe. As previously mentioned, it is on a farm.
That's good. It's important to I'm glad that there's confirming details because
Yes.
sometimes the script can be written and we might have some objections. So it's nice to get that confirmation.
Confirmation is good. So the brewery is located straight in from the driveway. But if you look to your left, there's a barn with some goats. So that might be fun to see.
Yeah. Can you pet the goats, Joe? Don't know.
Didn't try.
He's not a
Joe
goat
don't
petter.
know if you can pet the goats.
Joe's not a goat petter.
When you go, well,
And there's a covered pavilion area there, which I presume you can drink your beer from.
Yeah, that's the drive shed, right?
Yeah. Okay. Drive shed.
Another confirmation of detail.
There you go. So maybe you're drinking the beer with the goats, give them a little sip. Maybe not. Maybe don't feed the animal signs. Something
I feel like
that.
a goat would be like a big New England IPA person.
Person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe not person, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I heard person.
Yeah, you did.
Joe also believes that there's some seating behind the barn. I guess he didn't go behind the barn. Seats in the grass and a cement patio. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I had to read ahead. Sorry, Joe. Pouring rain when he was there, so definitely.
I don't know
stayed
why
inside.
anyone sit out in the grass though if it's pouring rain.
Could also explain why you didn't get too close to the goats.
Yes, 100%.
So, like most breweries, they do have food trucks there, live music, different activity leagues, including euchre and cornhole. I like a little cornhole.
So does Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's a big cornhole fan.
Big, real big.
Brett, why don't you tell us what their average rating is and some of those check-in numbers? Bud?
So on Untapped, Fogorig has an average rating of 3.89. You like to see that.
That's pretty
That's
good.
a good
Yeah,
rating.
it is.
With around 3,000 check-ins.
Okay.
As we have mentioned, Joe has had some beers from Fogorig. We have not,
No, zero for
Zero.
the three of us.
which is nice.
It
this
is
is
nice.
maybe the first time this season. I can't remember if it's the first time this one.
Yeah.
That all three of us at least
all
haven't had
three
one.
of us. Yeah. Well, I mean, Chris hasn't.
Yeah,
shown
Chris
up,
decided to
so
drink a
it's
couple
kinda
beforehand, but
top
since point,
pick.
yeah.
It's,
Anyway, producer Joe had 9, and his highest rated was Unicorn Country out of 4, which I believe was an IPA.
all right.
He
doesn't
doesn't
have
know.
it. Doesn't have it available.
Doesn't know.
Chris,
He
tell
was
us.
too busy thinking about the wedding and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
He was like, "Oh, that was a great time."
Yeah. Delivery. What do we got?
Yeah, so if you want to get beers from Fogorig, delivery is available for $15 as a flat rate shipping fee across Ontario with a minimum of $50 order. And there is free delivery if you're within the boundaries of Port Hope, Belleville, and Peterborough.
Yes. You can also find them at most bottle shops like OG, Sidewalk, Wheel Brew and Berry, etc.
Very good. Their hours currently are Thursdays 12 to 6, Friday, Saturday 12 to 7, and Sunday 12 to 5. Now, Chris, you used to do this, so why don't you pick this piece up and then Brett can get us into the next little segment.
Yeah, of course. So, as always, we're going to link to their information on our social media.
Let's hop on the sleigh and ride ourselves to beer number 1. A big shout out and thank you to Derek from Fogorig to providing the beers for today's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Derek.
But there was a little bit of a...
There's a story here.
Yeah, so I'll let you lead into that one.
Thank
Story
you.
time.
Story time with Tyler. Nope.
Mute.
All right.
Brought to you by...
Tyler.
Fogorig beers. Yeah, so we corresponded with Derek, and Derek said he was going to be sending the beers. Now, we talked about delivery in the first segment there. Obviously, a little special treatment for the craft beer connoisseurs, and we appreciate that.
Yep.
So we got these beers sent down pretty quick, actually.
They were very quick.
Very
Quickest I've ever seen.
It doesn't surprise me. And so I was noticing here, they got sent to my new place.
Yeah.
And was watching the cameras the one day because I got notified. And a gentleman came to my front door, but didn't park in the driveway, but parked on the road. And so I rang the doorbell 3 times. Was pretty adamant about that. And then kind of walked away. I was like, these are probably the beers because that makes sense.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, there's no company vehicle. Maybe it's a private company. Maybe it's just somebody from the brewery that was just down, happened to be in the area. But he had Toronto Maple Leafs coat on. I was like, it doesn't look legit, but this is the only thing that would be coming to my house, right? Then I keep on watching, and the individual then goes to my neighbor my neighbor comes out of his house, and I have not met my neighbors yet.
Till now.
Well, beer is bringing people together. I've always said it. So my neighbor comes out, grabs the beers from this individual, and then takes them inside. So I'm like, okay, after work now, I have to go home, meet my neighbor. Thanks. I was trying to go as long as possible without meeting them and figure out what the situation was. So I go over, knock on the door. He's got 2 girls, and he's getting one ready for a Christmas recital. So I was like, I didn't want to like take up the time. Introduce myself and tell him basically my whole life story because I'm just trying to be nice and personable and
quick, right?
And quick.
47 minutes later.
Yeah, we're still sitting there. He's cracking a joke and he says to me, "Yeah, so it's interesting because these beers were actually given to me by a guy who had them delivered to his house.
Oh,
it wasn't even the delivery company. So the delivery company dropped him off at this guy's house who lives across town, and he was so kind to not open them up and drink because it says what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're beers.
Well, it says where it's from, you can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah,
and it says the craft beer connoisseurs as the recipient. So, like, you can kind of figure out, doesn't open them, brings them over, and that's why he rang the doorbell 3 times, is because he didn't want to leave them on the doorstep.
Right.
Such a caring guy. And gives them to the neighbor. So he could stay like writing a note and be like, "Hey, I live here. Come pick them up."
Yeah.
Gives them to the neighbor. I guess we're just trusting in neighbors. So had a good conversation. He's like, "Yeah, I noticed where they're from. I was going to take one out." And I was like,
"Don't joke around."
We take craft beer seriously. And so I told him about the podcast. Naturally, now that's a selling point. And so then we got an email from Derek. And he said that an individual by Greg had them delivered to his house. He was nice enough, didn't want to leave them outside. So the story all made sense. But talk about Christmas time. Talk about, unfortunately, we're not doing nice first. But, nice people. Yeah. Didn't open them up. So Fogorig Derek went ahead and sent him a 6-pack to his house, to Greg's house.
Well, also really nice by Derek.
And not only that, but maybe if things happen properly here, that package will actually come to my house. So,
and you probably won't be so nice.
And I'll be a little bit naughty. So we'll see what ends up happening. But it was a good way to meet my neighbor. Really nice guy. And thanks to Greg for being a stand-up, citizen. So,
and now you guys are best friends.
Greg and I never met him. But my neighbor, he never even told me his name.
It's Joe.
So it could be producer Joe for all we know. But it was good. It was nice. It was a good kind of breaking point. But
yes,
I think that's the beautiful thing about beer is it does bring people together.
Beer always breaks the ice with neighbors.
It's true.
Yep.
Actual facts.
It's true.
Actual facts.
That's
science.
As confirmed by Brett.
Yes. Yeah. So for both beers, they are based on Highland Ground, which is a Scottish ale. Now, both of these beers, again, have been barrel aged. Okay, so the mainstay Highland Ground comes in at 6%. However, the bourbon barrel aged versions come in at 7%. Okay, everybody sticking.
Okay,
good. So the first beer we're having is Naughty.
Okay, hard start and hard stop for you, eh?
Yes, Tyler, tell us what Naughty means.
Why don't I show you?
Stay tuned for these brief messages from our sponsors. So this Naughty beer is resting in Canadian whiskey barrels for months, resulting in a delicious balance of flavors, including butterscotch, caramel apples, and oaken leather. So that's what we're expecting kind of get out of this. I think we will.
Yeah.
Naughty is an 8-month bourbon barrel lagered cold beer rested on a blend of freshly ground mulling spices. Those spices include cinnamon sticks, cloves, star anise, nutmeg, and cardamom pods. There's ginger, orange, which isn't, I guess we're kind of going off the spices now, even though I kind of consider ginger somewhere in between. Orange, chocolate, and then the Mexican vanilla. So a spicy soul that's still subtle enough for those timid tongues. And I always like
timid tongues 3 times fast. Good Lord.
I always like a timid tongue when you're being a little naughty, No?
I mean,
it's better than just saying naughty and ending it on a cold break,
I mean, you're probably right somewhere.
Facts.
Literal facts.
So there's a lot in this beer. And then there's actually a little description I was just noticing on the can.
Oh,
They say,
good for you, Mr. Bright
in a
Eyes.
dark place we find ourselves, and a little more knowledge lights our way. We aged our strong Scottish ale in Canadian whiskey barrels for months, and the result is a delicious balance of force and flavors.
Wow.
Yeah. Which some of that, yes, was written.
I was going to say, thank you.
So anyways, just a reminder to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons and on Untapped at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Now, there have only been 2 ratings for this naughty beer at the time of recording. One was a 3.25 and the other a 5 out of 5.
Brett, I thought you didn't have any beers from them.
I have not.
Got him. All right. Everybody's got their glasses in their hands and everybody's got their cans in the other hand. And let's not get in on the carpet and open her up. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Oh, that hits the nose, eh?
Yeah, wow. So we are drinking this out of a snifter glass today. So make sure to use your proper glassware.
It's a great follow-up after I say it hits the nose and you're saying we got a
snifter. Yeah, I was a little torn on this one because usually you would drink a Scottish ale out of a thistle glass, but since it's barrel aged, I said let's do snifter.
You know what? You're here. You can make those decisions.
Yeah. Thank you for following up on the research, though. And just,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice of you.
All right, guys. What are you smelling here? I mean, we're smelling lots. Let's not take that
I'm
away
kind
from
of getting a lot of booziness out of this with the orange peel.
It's like, a mix of booze, orange, and cinnamon.
Yeah, I'm picking up something like almost like Di Serono, right? You kind of get like
I don't think I've ever had Di Serono.
Well, that's too bad. It's kind of like almondy, right?
Yeah, I'm just running with you. But I know I've seen it before. I think I've actually seen you have it once.
You've seen it before.
Yes.
Wow, that's.
I remember they had commercials.
So you've been to an LCBO. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you, Brett.
I've been there a time or two. Yes.
Anyways, so I'm picking up the oranginess of it.
It's super, super strong on the nose. Some beers you pour out and you can barely smell anything, but this one it hits you.
Yeah, and producer Joe saying nutmeg on the nose, and yeah, I think like very spicy. Like it's
Yes.
This is a perfect beer for right now, Christmas time, baby.
I think it's gonna be one of those ones that's gonna burn right in about here in a couple minutes.
The old esophagus.
Yes, the old esophagus. I think so.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening, Brett
Which is all of you.
Brett gestures gestured to his throat area. Couldn't get the words out. Poor fella. All right, who wants to tickle their tongue first?
You guys go ahead.
You know what? I think producer Joe.
All right, let's see what Joe's got here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a new little approach there. Yeah.
Just
Let's see what Joe's thinking.
okay, a little perplexed.
Yes.
A little perplexed.
Okay.
I'll get into it.
I think that was kind of like a pleasantly surprised look, maybe. Let's see. Interesting. You guys had taken a sip, so let me get in there.
Yeah.
So producer Joe's coming in and saying that it tastes like a pop. I do agree on that. However, I do not agree on the kind of pop that you're saying it tastes like.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it more of a.
Well, do you want to tell the people
yeah,
listening?
Yeah, I could do that. So producer Joe is saying it tastes like a Sprite. I disagree.
Yeah, I would agree with your disagreement.
I guess he's probably getting some citrus out of it.
Yes.
I can see that.
I'm thinking more of like a mixture between root beer and Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Pepper is almost the easier one to go with just
Yeah.
because of all the spices, right? And like
23 different flavors in Dr. Pepper.
Yes. Facts. You want to call this episode?
I know my Dr. Pepper.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm perplexed by this at this time. I'm excited to see how this warms up
Yeah.
a little bit more. It might be a little bit cool for us right now, but I'm excited to see how it kind of warms up. But there's a lot to it. There's a lot of flavors that are coming out at different times.
It's almost like that nutmeg, cinnamon kind of mixed with that orange peel, mixed with, that butterscotch.
Yeah, almost like the way that the beer's made, brewed.
You got her.
Good job. Talking about it's
But I'm
almost
actually
like
getting
all
more
these things that they've
Yeah.
mentioned.
I am
yes.
getting more butterscotch as we're getting down here a little further.
I'm more on the orange myself.
Yeah.
The orange
Like
is still
the
there,
orange
too,
is
though.
kind of like forward with it, right?
The orange is adding kind of like a a bitterness because it's almost like an orange peel that's kind of coming through to me.
It's very rindy.
Yes, it is. So it kind of has that. I don't know that necessarily mixes with the spices super well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can get like orange and spices together in like Christmas baking. I think that happens quite frequently, and I think for me it does go well together. It's just again trying to figure out what those flavors that are coming out throughout the sip, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like one sip you're getting, nutmeg. Next sip you're getting the orange, and next sip you're getting, if you kind of see what I'm saying in terms of, it seems like a different sip. You're almost getting something new.
It's a little different, yeah. But I remember when we opened it, Brett, you said it smelt boozy, but it doesn't come off overly boozy when you're drinking it.
No.
Only on the back end.
Yeah, a little bit.
As it finishes, I do get like a booziness to it. But again, that booziness I'm relating to the barrel oakiness.
Yes.
Right?
And you do kind of have that, warming in the chest a little bit. At least I'm getting that.
This is a nice hot tub outside beer.
I agree.
Sorry, I was just in the middle of the set, but
No, it's just funny how producer Joe was like cupping it.
Yeah, well, because trying to warm it up a
Yeah.
bit, right? And that's what the this type of glassware allows you to do, right?
yeah, I would think that this is definitely a long sipper. Not gonna, down this for sure. So take your time with it, and I think, like you mentioned, it'll warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, we probably should have taken it out a little bit sooner, so we could get it warm already. But yeah, definitely take your time with this one.
So let's move on to the top 5 flavor profiles. Brett, you've been really good at reading lately. Why don't you read these ones
Yes.
out?
So number 1, warming.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily a flavor, but I would say there is a warming element to it.
Would you put it number 1?
Probably not.
No,
I would
wouldn't either.
concur.
Okay. Number 2 is cinnamon.
Yeah, there's cinnamon, but it's definitely not the second profile. And again, this is really coming from 2 people's
Yes, exactly.
ratings, right?
Which usually when there's 2 ratings, you don't see the flavor profiles being listed.
That's
so I
true.
was actually quite interested to why, how I made it. Anyway, number 3, nutmeg.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there.
I'd kind of keep it at the number 3 as well. And 4 and 5 aren't there, so I guess we kind of have to throw in what each of us are thinking.
I would put orange, personally.
I would definitely put orange probably number 1. I think oakiness needs to be in there. I think just because again, like that, it's that barrel aged piece, and I'm picking up with that on the back end, and I think that's where I'm kind of at.
Yeah.
I'm not getting much of the butterscotch.
No, me neither.
Feel
Yeah.
it at all? Like I know you mentioned a bit, Brett.
Yeah, I got
there,
a bit,
but-
and then now that I've kind of gotten more through it, not getting as much anymore.
But yeah, I would go ahead personally, and I would do the orange rind, orange peel, and I would do like an oakiness to it.
Yeah, they mentioned on the can and in our description there, oak and leather. I don't know if that's a flavor profile on
I
on
don't know, has anybody ever ate leather before?
No, I have not.
Well, there was this one time.
That's why you're on the naughty list, right?
Wow. Yeah, that's what I would add. Anything else that you guys would add to it?
I don't think so. I mean,
No.
maybe I think there's a flavor profile that is like called barrel aged, and
Yeah.
so like I would probably just go with that just because.
For sure.
Because you can tell that this has been barrel aged.
Absolutely. All right. So there has been one person who has given their untapped thoughts on it. The second rating was privatized. Don't know why. But
Privatized.
yes. Don't know why. This it is what it is. So, Tyler, you have the only review from somebody who's had this beer that's put it on Untapped. I'm sure there's been more that have had this beer, though.
Facts. So the first one's Matt K. Handle is Matt Foil 33. Stated the following: cinnamon and nutmeg reign supreme here. Very deep and warming, excellent and original. Just not my cup of tea. Well, it's a beer, Matt.
Come on, Matt.
Silly Matt. And then they rated it a 3.25 out of 5, not the 5, and that was the privatized.
Right, the privatized.
The privatized ratings.
Also,
You know?
in Matt's photo, N64 controller. So playing some N64.
I mean, this would be a good game or good beer to have while playing Mario Kart.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
All right.
Or like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
Are we just going to start naming all our N64s? Because I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Maybe next time.
All right. So to kick off the naughty list of ratings, if you will, and if you won't, too bad. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a 3.75. It's unique. It's in its own kind of category-ish. We haven't had a whole lot of barrel age on the podcast before. It's got some good flavor there. I would have liked a little bit more, but in different ways.
Yep.
But yeah, 3.75.
Okay, I'm going to go a bit lower. I'm going to go 3.25. Just the way that the spices and the orange are kind of working together aren't the greatest for me.
For myself, I'm going to go a little bit different than Chris, but a little bit different. You can go 3.5. I do think that the spices work a little bit better together than what you think, but just not to the point where it's going to get me a super high rating, for example. Now, producer Joe, he's giving it the highest rating. He's giving it a 4.
Oh, a little surprising.
I am actually very surprised by that, yes.
Wow. Look, we're all just getting surprised here at Christmas. All right, so our overall score is going to be 3.625, and we will round that up to the 3.75.
Absolutely. So you've seen us naughty. Now we're going to get nice. All right, the second beer we're going to have today is Nice, which again is based off their Highland Ground Scottish Ale. This one again comes in at 7% ABV with no IBUs listed.
Yeah, so this is a reminder from the first beer that we had. Resting in Canadian whiskey barrels for months, resulting in a delicious balance of flavors, including butterscotch, caramel apples, and oaken leather. That oaken leather
that nobody's ever tasted.
So this nice version was actually lagered cold for the 8 months as well, and then rested on a mixture of dulce de leche, chocolate, and Madagascar bourbon vanilla. Ooh la 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 la! We like it.
Some would say
that.
that's nice. That's just me. I'm the only person to say that.
Yep, it is pretty nice.
Anyway, so it has 2 chickens. Nice. And here's the thing. Okay, one's a 5 and one's a 4.75.
Yep.
Okay, so 4.875 or 5, I believe, would be correct in terms of the rounding there.
Close enough, yeah.
Okay.
The rounding.
Yeah, rounding. Right.
You guys thirsty again?
Yes.
We let the
I
first
am
one,
quite parched, yes.
first one settle out a bit.
And this one's been out for a little bit.
A little bit longer.
We had a little chat offline about the different things. Some naughty, some nice.
Very true. Thank you for clarifying that, Brett. Let's grab our glass and grab our can and let's open her up. Oh, very nice.
This one did have a little spillage just on the nose, though, not on the carpet.
Oh, wow.
Well, this beer, we are also drinking out of a snifter glass, so make sure to use your proper glassware.
Now, one thing I do want to just kind of comment on here is there's not a whole lot of head retention, right?
It comes and goes quickly.
Yeah, dissipates fast. Like, real fast.
Real fast. Some would say the fastest that ever dissipated.
Yeah, it's so true, Brett. Thank you. Now, on the nose, I wasn't getting something. Now, I did pour this a little further away from my nose this time in anticipation of kind of a SWAT team of scents, if you will.
Okay.
Hitting my nostrils. But this one wasn't as pungent.
It is not as strong, but
on the nose.
I would say smells a little better to me.
Okay.
You would say nicer?
Yeah, nicer. There you go. Thank you. Let's just keep it going.
Brett's helping you out.
I'm super nice. What can I say? I'm a nice guy.
Yep.
For now.
Do you have anything you want to say there? Because you grabbed a can like
I did. Just wanted to take a look at it again.
Joe said pick up that can.
Yeah.
So on the nose, while you're looking at the can, it's way more subdued.
Yes, but it is kind of like I'm getting a sweetness from it on the nose.
It's almost like it's one of those milk stouts. Almost smells like it's milk stout on the nose.
Yeah, that's good.
That could
I'm
be
assuming it's the
dulce de leche, right?
or the vanilla. One of the two.
Yeah. I hope that this is a little bit more rich.
Yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to be.
a bit more of a mouthfeel, maybe.
Yeah, I want more of a creaminess mouthfeel to it. The first one, as we said, was carbonated.
Yes.
Fairly well. We didn't really mention the carbonation, but I think that kind of alludes to the poppiness nature.
Yeah.
Yep.
So kind of, I think we left that out a little bit. So that's on us. But we're circling back.
Yeah, Joe should have told us to mention it, but
It's true. And I just really want to be nice. I really want to be nice with this. And I hope that it gives more of a velvety feel to it. I don't think we're going to get that because, again, understand the carbonation of what this looked like when I was talking about the head and that dissipation. If it was a little more thick, I don't think we would have saw it dissipate as fast.
the type of bubbles in the head, they're larger bubbles, doesn't look as thick.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as frothy.
Yes, frothy. There you go.
Okay, well, instead of looking at the bubbles, should we taste the bubbles?
Sure.
Yeah, let's taste the bubbles. You go ahead.
Taste the
It's
niceness.
like Skittles, taste the rainbow.
Yeah, no, I think everybody got what I was saying, but I'm glad that you came back with it. All right, you guys are getting into it. Wow. A visceral reaction from
Joe.
Producer
Yeah,
Joe.
quite the head switch to the right.
I think you got a little shiver.
A little exorcism happening there.
Somebody might get him a jacket. He might be cold.
Shiver.
Shiver me timbers.
Well, wow, that has a lot of chocolate in it,
A lot more chocolate.
which is nice, and a little bit of like. I know you love your peanuts, but like on the back end, just like a subtle peanut.
There is a little bit of peanut in there. And I'm not a big fan of peanuts, as Chris said. He said I'm the biggest fan. I am not. I hate peanut butter, peanuts, anything with peanut in it. It's disgusting.
You sure you don't like nuts?
No. If anybody saw, no, I'm not going to go there. But Tyler was doing a motion with his right hand.
I thought.
I think he was picking up a glass. I don't know.
That was a drinking motion. Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah, 2 peas in a pod. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with the chocolateness of this. The dulce de leche for sure.
Yeah.
There's some chocolate to it. Again, I wish it was a little bit more creamy. The Madagascar vanilla, though,
Yeah.
It is helping out for sure.
Smooth.
it is. It's a very unique beer because we still are doing the barrel age aspect of it.
Yeah.
We are at a smoothness to a high carbonation point, which is
you
very,
don't usually see.
That is a very unique kind of thing because usually I would look for something like this to be a little bit more, again, the mouthfeel. And I still am getting that, but it's not to the point that like if it had more of a velvetness to it. So it's a very unique combination. I feel like they're pulling it off as I drink it. I feel like they're pulling it off. 7% though.
The one thing I'm going to say is that it's nice. You can quote it as much as you want.
That's a good thing. One thing to say.
Is that it's literally the same base of beer. Both beers we've had is the same base.
Right.
Yes, it is.
But they taste completely different.
They do, and which is really cool. And what's even cooler is, and I'm sure we'll do this, later, but we were sent the original beer as well.
So cool.
And it might have been New England in there too. But besides the point.
So it'll be interesting to taste that as well and compare all three.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the juxtaposition between this one and the other one is interesting, as we mentioned. But again, it's not the same beer. Just because we have the same base doesn't mean you're going to have the same beer. And we've done this over and over and over again with other beer types.
Absolutely.
That even like the single hop series is like the base is still the same, but the hop changes, which changes the whole beer.
Yeah.
Same thing here, right? Like we've got away from that orange. We've got away from the spices.
Yes.
And we've now stuck to something that's got more of a rich
A lot of richness.
flavor to it, right?
Yeah.
I like this. I like this a lot.
I like it too, and I would say this is more of like a traditional way probably to do the barrel aged and to do this type of beer with the chocolate and the vanilla. And I think they took a chance a little bit with the spices and the orange on the naughty.
As you could with a naughty, right?
For sure.
Being naughty is
that
all
was
about
kind of
taking
the
chances.
Yeah.
I think that was the play. Is that naughty was kind of just you're out there.
Yeah.
You don't see this every day kind of thing. Where nice is something that you're going to get, Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
It's also a really good thing that they did this naughty and nice because, we were asked to do both of these on the podcast, but I think if I was to visit the brewery, I would say, well, I can't try one without trying the other.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 package deal. So I think it was really smart on their part.
And when we look at the naughty portion of this, we're talking about 6, 7, 8 different adjuncts in total.
Yes, there's a lot of them.
This is kind of scaled down a bit to
Yes.
kind of hone in a little bit more. And we kind of found when we were talking about our ratings for the naughty that it was trying to figure out, okay, well, it's this, or it's this, and then it changes to this. This one, I feel like from beginning to end, I'm getting the same kind of flavor. I think your point is well taken, Chris, and I hate, it pains me to say that.
First time this season, too.
Yeah. It's just, again, take the chances with the naughty, and then the nice, you know what to expect.
Yeah. And you know what Joe said? He said, if you add in the OG, the original one, that's almost a flight. You got 3 beers there out of your 4 for a flight.
And I mean, talking about that, we should put Reindeer or Rudolph at the front there to guide Santa's sleigh tonight, which would then move us on to the top 5 flavor profiles. Number 1.
Great segue.
Tough transition
Nice,
there, but
nice
we'll go
segue.
with it.
Yeah.
Great job.
I mean, we had to get moving on. Joe's taking a little bit of a snooze over there, I feel, after this one, because I'm just being conscious of the time. Number 1, we have Nutty.
Yeah, there's, like I mentioned, a bit of peanut, but it's actually less the more that I drink it. It was like the first couple sips I got a lot of it, so certainly not my number 1.
I think it's in there. Not number 1, though.
Okay, number 2 is caramel.
I'm getting a little bit of that.
I'm
not
not
overly.
I'm not.
I think 2 and 3, when you get there, they kind of go and
Yeah,
intermingle
they're
together.
similar,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think that comes off that dulce de leche, right? So I do get that. Yeah.
Number 3?
Number 3 is butterscotch.
And as I said, 2 and 3, I mean, caramel and butterscotch are almost
They're
the same thing. Right?
pretty much just similar.
And,
yeah.
and that's dulce de leche, right?
Exactly,
Like
yes.
that in essence is what it is. So we do have some here presented by producer Joe. Brett, why don't you tell us those, and then we'll give our thoughts.
And I think these kind of 4, I agree upon more. Barrel aged. I mean, obviously, because it was barrel aged.
Yeah.
Strong.
Can we just pause for a second?
Sure.
That barrel aged, I agree, but you don't taste that barrel as much as you did in the first one, right? Like, am I crazy
true.
for thinking that?
Oh, yeah.
No, you're
But I
right.
do think it is definitely there. Like,
Yeah.
But
You know, flip it to the end, yeah.
you do kind of get that oakiness on the back end as it kind of sits. Like, as I'm sitting here not drinking anything, I feel like I get more of that oakiness, just kind
Yeah,
of flavor.
kind of
palette.
lingers.
So, but it's not as strong. Yep.
Yep. I think this one definitely shows up more in this one versus Naughty, and that's boozy. I think get a little more of the booze in this one versus the other one.
Do you know why I think that is?
Because there's less adjuncts.
100%.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yep. Yeah,
And this-
I feel like it's more present because you're tasting, again, more rich kind of adjuncts in this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the last one is chocolate, which definitely would be my number 1 in this one.
Yeah.
That would be my number 1, but I would also add vanilla. And I might even add like a smooth or something like that.
Producer Joe saying no.
I
No?
think I think mouthfeel would have fit in here as well.
Yeah.
Because even though it's not a creamy, it's more high carbonation than I would have anticipated. It does stick around. Mouth coating
Or smooth,
Yeah,
perhaps.
producer Joe, like it's the mouth coating is like
Yeah.
it does leave a filminess to it. Again, not disappointing. What might be disappointing is the amount of reviews that we have on Untapped. Do you like that one a little bit better, guys?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
better transition.
I thought it was going to be disappointing. It's like I have to read, but okay, that's fine.
No, for sure. Let's go with you, Brett. You can give the first one here and give it to us in a quick style. Let's say like a Blitzen.
Okay. This is all-out attack with a caramel and butterscotch sucker punch before you realize what's going on. Begging for another one for sure. And obviously, the review came from the same person who reviewed the first one, Matt Kay. He rated this one a 4.75 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, he did.
It's one of those things where I do agree. I don't agree with the caramel and butterscotch sucker punch,
That's too
but I
bad.
agree with the part of maybe wanting another one of these.
Okay.
I do agree with that. So I should probably give my rating on it, shouldn't I?
Yes.
You're the first one. Why not?
Yeah. I'm going to rate it higher than the first one.
Okay.
Because I'm a lot nicer than I am naughty, apparently. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5.
Self-identified.
Yeah, I didn't give a quiz beforehand, but I'm just going to say, self-identified.
Yeah, you didn't do the naughty or nice like the elf test.
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah. The Facebook quiz, right?
You get it.
I'm going to even go higher than you, Brett. I really like this one. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Chris's highest rating of the season. He's been on 2 episodes. Highest one for sure.
Out of 4 beers, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy this. But how much do I enjoy this? I mean, it's the giving season.
Uh-oh.
I don't think we're going to be there.
So he's not giving.
I'm going to give this a 4.5 as well. I was between the 4.5 and the 4.75. I think the one thing for me is if it would have been just a little bit more creamier
Yeah.
than carbonated.
I think that would have got me up a little bit too.
I probably would have went the 4.75, maybe even the 5. Like
I've said this before, it might be a little lactose.
Yeah. Well,
You love your lactose.
it's true, but I do get the flavors from it. I think it's a really well done beer.
Yeah.
We talked about the first one being a hot tub beer. I feel like this one, you do a little naughty, do a little nice in the hot tub, and everything's great. I think you could round this off, and everybody's happy.
So
Yeah.
you're just glad that you received this beer instead of giving this beer, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, if we had more to give, I'd give it to my neighbor who held the package for sure.
I bet he did.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so
That was naughty.
producer Joe is going to give it a 2.75. Somebody
Joe,
else
not
say-
a big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not,
And
Joe?
you know what? That's the spectrum we get here, right?
And actually very surprising because going into this, I thought he would have liked this one more than the first one.
Agreed.
So I'm actually very surprised by that.
I'm not.
2.75.
I'm not. And the reason for it is because I feel like this gives more of a stouty-ish kind of feel to it.
But he's not a spice guy.
Yeah, but he's not a stout guy.
Apparently not.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe it's the Dolce. I don't even know how to say it. I mean, I'll just say,
Dolce de leche?
yeah, the French dessert. So that concludes the review. of
No,
Fogorig.
no.
No.
It does not.
How's it not?
We haven't done our overall
yes, we
rating.
need-
I just don't want to go back to back. So if you could go ahead and give us our overall
This is something
score.
I can figure out
Okay.
because it's not French.
So let's just do a brief recap after
yeah.
that nonsense. Brett with a 4, Chris with a 4.5, myself with a 4.5, and producer Joe with a 2.75.
That's going to give us a team overall score of 3.9375, which obviously we shall round up to a 4.
Yeah.
Yes, we absolutely will.
And that's going to conclude our review of Fogorig and the beers provided for today's episode. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. It was a team effort, really.
Thank you, neighbor.
honestly.
Yeah, neighbor. Team
Neighbor
effort,
who
really.
held the package.
Package?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day.
He held that package
And-
all day long.
Great package holder.
Thank you.
Never before seen how good you can
And
do
probably, hopefully, never again.
You guys are wild. All right. Up next, we're going to be discussing our Christmas traditions. We'll be right back.
So, you know, it's the last main episode before Christmas, right?
it. It is.
It is.
And Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Last main episode before the new year, too.
God damn it, you're good. Good mathing on your end. But I've heard a few people say that they're really not in the Christmas spirit this year.
You
Really?
heard that?
Yes, I heard that.
Who the heck are you talking to, boy?
It could be because there's no snow. You know,
There's
it's been-
never snow anymore.
Yeah.
did you remember
White
last Christmas?
Wait.
I
Pretty
did
sure
not
I
have
got about
snow.
25 centimeters of snow, and I was blowing out snowdrifts that were taller than me. It
But that, again, that
On
happened
Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Yeah.
was actually December 23rd, but then by the time it was still white by the time Christmas Day was there. I don't think it's going to be a.
We don't
white
really
Christmas.
have the major snow events that we used to.
No.
Correct.
Last
Not
year,
until
you're not-
January.
Last year
you're
we
not-
did have two.
Yes. Anyway, I think it'll be a green Christmas this year. I could be wrong. Who knows?
You're probably right.
Hey,
Yeah,
you know what? If I know you, I'm going to bet on the opposite.
It's true. Go to FanDuel right now.
I'm
get
on
that
it
done.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the Vegas odds?
Well, there's no snow in Vegas, I can tell you that. Anyway, so I thought it would be, because last year people were snowed in. This year, maybe not so. People can travel and whatnot. What is our Christmas time traditions? Okay, so like do we play board games, movies, food, presents, etc. And we'll kind of go, again, round table it as we do.
Yeah.
So the first one, we'll start with games. Okay. So for myself, we've kind of gotten into, and I think actually...
Canasta.
No, Tyler, you actually started this with us a few years ago. long before we started the podcast, everything like that, is the Jackbox series.
Yeah.
Okay.
I brought that to the boys.
You did. You brought that to my house.
And I
too.
think we started with like Jackbox 2 or 3. I can't remember exactly.
I
think they're on
now?
14 or 15
I think
now.
they're close to you.
So now I have upgraded to a PlayStation 5. Yes.
Is that applause worthy?
How's your PS2, Chris? Yeah. Anyway,
3.
PS5.
Facts.
Anyway, so I plan on purchasing the Jackbox series for Christmas.
Yeah.
For my wife, myself, and my in-laws to kind of play on Christmas night. Between the food and the movie we watch later, which we'll get into that. And it quite enjoys, sorry, I shouldn't say quite enjoys, but it's quite fun in terms of just kind of, roasting each other in terms of funny things that go on, right? So
There's probably so little content to roast you about, though, Brett.
Oh, yes. Minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal amounts.
Nothing right now.
But anyway, is there any games, whether they're virtual or board games, etc., that you guys play with your families during Christmas time?
I'll go
Yeah,
if we
please do,
want to do
please
the
do.
round table. So I am, our family is big on crokinole.
We've talked about this before.
And I am a pro crokinole player. People love it when I'm. Yeah, it's just like curling.
No. Producer Joe's saying, do you use the flick method or do you use the actual stick?
Oh,
The cue.
What? No, you use your finger.
And also,
We've talked about this before, right? The World Crokinole Championship happens in Tavistock every year. We've had this conversation on this podcast.
I do not recall, but I will be entering this year.
They got a brewery,
Thank you.
they got a brewery in Tavistock now, and B, there's a Crokinole League at Black Swan in Stratford, so if you want to come to Stratford every Tuesday night, I will join that
did
league
you
with you, and we can play Crokinole together.
Yeah. Like we could put some teams in. But yeah, Crokinole is huge, especially in southwestern Ontario.
Yes.
But they do have the World Championship that does take place every year in Tavistock. Has for years.
All right. So
Wow, producer Joe is saying that
Producer Joe's excited.
He wants Fife. About Fife golfs on that night. Let's see if producer Joe. Oh, he wants other people.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, why don't you and I go?
Hey,
yeah,
you know what?
let's do it.
Yeah, let's
hey,
keep
we can do
going.
Crokinole 6 to 7 and golf 7 to 9.
There you
Great
go.
Tuesday.
Yeah, old bionic over here.
Yeah.
Carry on, my son.
That's about it. But no, crokinole is the game that I play at Christmas. You know, you need. It's really good with 4 players, right? So you get a bunch of people together. People are begging to be on my team, so
I would love to play Crokinole with you.
I don't think I've ever begged to get on your team, but okay.
It's something we've never done, and I would actually enjoy doing that someday.
Craft Beer Connoisseurs Crokinole Championship.
come to my house. I have the board.
I would love that.
Yep. I'm just waiting for the invite.
I used to have one.
Joe has the board too.
Yeah.
He's excited about
We
that.
could do like a
His
tournament.
house is closer, so I'll go to his house. We can meet there.
We could do it here. I'll turn the lights on.
I'll be sinking 20s all day.
Facts.
Yeah, fast. for sure.
We could be turning the lights on whenever we want. You know, every time we hit a 20.
So producer Joe coming in here. Nothing's really specific with the games, but usually Remoli. I've never played that. I actually don't know what.
I have not played that
A game
either.
of pennies.
Game of pen. Is that like the quarters game, like where you used to flick quarters?
Not at all.
No,
No,
okay.
pennies.
Flick pennies.
No, it's not. There's
That's
a
real
Remoli
tough with
board out
nickels
there.
now, I guess.
All right. Well, maybe it's more of a distinguished game for
Yes.
Joe and I.
Yeah, no, I've never played that. So, but he does that with his in-laws family. Good for you, Tyler.
Yeah. So again, like I'm open to games, whether it's
Whether
Christmas.
they're naughty or nice.
Yeah, whatever. We do a little bit of A, a little bit of B. There's nothing specific, but there's always like board games going on. I would love to actually do the Crokinole thing. I'm going to be getting a dartboard, and I have played some darts previously, and
Yeah.
I do enjoy that. I think it's a nice kind of like pub thing. You see what we're doing.
180.
Van Gerwen is my favorite.
47.
Yeah, you see what we're doing in the basement here, fellas. There's
I
a
do,
good,
yes.
good spot for the dartboard, but I think a little bit of the Jack in the Box, a little bit of the Crokinole. We'll sprinkle some things. I'd like to get like a tabletop shuffleboard eventually,
Oh, nice.
which
yeah.
would be nice down here, I think,
Yep,
too.
for sure.
That and darts, and then I guess you guys can come over.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll accept the invite. Movie wise, so I'll start with producer Joe first.
Start with yourself first.
Nope.
It's
Start over there.
tradition. Wow,
So-
you're
you want to know
big-
why? Because for the first time it says his wife and him.
Yeah, but you break tradition.
No. Make a list of Christmas movies and then try to watch as many as possible leading up to Christmas. So I'm assuming they go to the Hallmark channel in a put it on repeat for like 24 hours the whole month of December.
Watching the exact same movie, just with different people.
Yeah, different actors, different names, etc. Yeah. Myself, whoa, good Lord, he is pulling out a list.
There you go.
Checking it twice.
Yes. Are some of them naughty? Nope, they're all nice. Anyway, the one movie that I should say, 3 movies we always watch. 1, Elf, because why not? 2, Christmas Eve, always watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
And number 3 is I'll Be Home for Christmas. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Jessica Biel, 1998.
Yeah, he was recently spotted out of his house for the first time in like 3 years, Jonathan.
Yes. Yeah, really taking COVID seriously. Anyway, so yes, that's the one I'll always watch because Jessica Biel in that movie, not bad. Chris?
Okay. Just like Joe, we do make a list of Christmas movies on paper, though, not on the phone.
That's an age difference right there.
Yeah, we're up to 23 this year that we watched.
Oh, my good gravy.
I mean, I think Joe's close to that. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
So we only have 3 more left as of recording, so should be good to go.
You haven't invested in the Hallmark Channel, apparently.
No,
Tyler.
we have all the Hallmark movies on W Network.
Wow. Yeah, so I don't do that.
You don't own the W Network?
No, I do. I just like to live my life a little bit more, yes. So for movies, I'll watch some of the traditional ones. Like, I haven't sat down and watched any Christmas movies. I'm not
Bah humbug.
Yeah, I'm not that high up on it. I do have a list of the Office Christmas episodes though.
Okay, fair enough. I'll
on
take
Instagram that I will actually start going through. Maybe on maybe on the Friday here.
On December 27th. Good job. Yeah. Food wise, so I'm a big fan of. They do call it Christmas crack. Don't do crack on Christmas, but Christmas crack. In terms of butterscotch on one side, chocolate on one side, with saltines.
Oh, yeah.
Put in the oven.
My aunt makes that. It's
delicious.
Really good.
Otherwise known as Christmas bark.
I call it Christmas crack.
Sure.
It's just easier that way.
Same thing.
But
we love the crack. We know it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nothing specific. I'm not a huge fan of the turkey dinner and the all the stuff that goes
Cranberry
with it.
sauce.
Oh, love a good cranberry sauce. But I do love the appetizers leading up to it. So just kind of anything finger food. At Christmas I just kind of find myself just nibbling, if you will.
Anything that goes into an air fryer. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Producer Joe, big fan of nuts and bolts.
Loves his nuts.
Yes. The Christmas crack and the Nanaimo bars.
Oh,
I do enjoy a good Nanaimo bar, but I've never been to Nanaimo, BC.
Cool.
Oh,
I should
neither
go.
is Joe. No.
Yeah. Hey, we'll take a trip. Yeah, BC. I love BC.
You guys
so here
can't
we go.
get together for Crokinole. I don't think you're going to BC. Get the heck out of here. Get out of here. You garbage. Oh, my God.
Tyler, your food that you enjoy?
Yeah, so similar to kind of Chris, throw me a jalapeno popper. I'm more of those appetizer kind of things.
Yeah.
I do like a peanut butter ball. So those are always good. I remember I remember being a young kid, and actually my uncle took a couple of those peanut butter balls and put them into my coat jacket, and he was like, "Yeah, go home, eat them. You love these." And then I forgot about them, and they melted all over my coat jacket. But I do like things like that. I'm not a big sweets guy. I'm not a big food guy, anyways. So yeah, that's good.
And any presents that you receive or normally get for your significant others, because we're all married in this room now. Myself, I always get a Rio Thompson chocolate bar, a Terry's chocolate orange.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have
might,
the chocolate
orange. Gotta have the chocolate
come up with a
orange.
theme later on next year. Yeah, we'll see. And I always do get a crossword. I shouldn't say crossword, but that holiday gift pack from LG.
You get scratch
the
tickets.
scratch
Yeah,
tickets,
there's
yeah.
no way
Crossword
in
to come
God's green earth you're getting a crossword. We know you're English.
How's your Sudoku going?
It's not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not happening.
Chris?
Nothing specific on presents in terms of the actual presents, but definitely do presents for our family, stockings for everyone.
Keep it simple.
Yep.
You got another stocking to fill this year too, don't you?
Yeah, we do. 4 stockings this year.
Producer Joe saying no traditions, but with German heritage, enjoys a good pickle on the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Joe.
Apparently, it's like a pickle ornament and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have. It's like
it's like a
you
thing.
put it on the tree. The first person to find it is
Find the
like
pickle.
has good luck or something. Yeah.
Find the
Yeah.
And you know what? It's one thing that Joe always says, that he is one of the best pickle finders. So that works out in Joe's favor. All right, yeah. So for myself, this year we're actually keeping it kind of tame. We're doing some stockings, but nothing special beyond that. I mean, we bought this lovely house.
That was a Christmas gift to each other, was putting your money together for the house, I assume.
It cost us a little bit of money. So
Yeah. How's it paying a mortgage every 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, we're not doing a whole lot of gifts this year for ourselves. But yeah, nothing special. Do the stockings because Santa Claus also does the stockings, just in case there's anybody under the age of 18 listening to a craft beer podcast.
And also, I think we're all in this together, but we also watch the World Juniors. So go Canada. I can't wait to wake up at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday morning to watch Canada play Slovakia in a first-round match.
You can wake up maybe 3 hours past that, you know.
Sweden's a little better than Slovakia. I don't know.
I do prefer when it's in Europe though to watch it in the morning.
Oh,
versus
Done it over with?
Yeah, like versus at nighttime. Yeah, I like that.
But I enjoy Canada playing Austria at 7:30 and winning 22-0. That's way better.
Yeah.
All right. You know what?
But go Canada. That's what that's
absolutely. This has been a little bit longer of an episode, but rightfully so because it is a Christmas episode.
It is.
We are givers, not receivers. We're giving to our fans,
and
more
we're nice,
content.
not naughty.
Yeah, that's true.
Producer Joe just got naughty.
Yeah. I think above all, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Please be safe.
Yes. Happy holidays. Be safe.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take it away, Fife. Like I don't even know why I'm talking.
You got anything else there?
No, I mean I was starting, but
Chris?
Same goes for me. Double.
all right. All right. We will be right back with our farewell and our last farewell of this year.
Yep.
All right, that's all for today's Christmas special episode.
Thank you again for listening. Keep on listening. Every other Thursday as the Craft Beer Connoisseurs release a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
And make sure to tell your friends, family, and check that list to see if you're nutty or nice.
So from all of us and producer Joe, I'm Tyler.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Brett. And together, we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.